Hello, my name is Stars Forsyth, and this video is about my poster proposal for my dissertation. So right here, as you can see, this is my poster that I've made myself, and it has a lot of information on which I will be going through. So at the top here, you can see my title. So the title of my dissertation will be, How Does Method Acting Affect Actors? Basically, well said, it's just going to be me looking into how the technique method acting affects actors in the industry, in roles they play, and everything like that. The next part that I will be talking about is my aims for the dissertation. So my first aim would be to get a deeper understanding of method acting. So basically, I want to do a deep dive into what method acting is, where it comes from, and that's a personal thing that I want to do. I just want to get as much information on method acting as I can so I can understand it a lot more. My next one will be to research case studies to compare the different effects. So a lot of actors in training, everything like that, have different experiences with it. So people have good experiences, people have bad experiences. So I just want to compare them and form an opinion on whether I think it is good or bad to use the technique. Next, I want to shine a light on the positive effects and the negative effects. So I want to do a whole part on the positive effects of method acting. Some people really like the technique of method acting because it helps them act better. Whereas the negative side, a lot of people can get psychologically affected in a bad way, and they could get stuck in their character. They could get anything like that. And I just want to compare them again, as I said, and just shine a light on different positives and negatives. And lastly, I want to draw attention to the after effects of the technique method acting, because a lot of people will say that yes, method acting is a good technique, it is something that is good to use, but then don't talk about the after effects. So a lot of actors, after they've done their role, everything like that, tend to feel quite stuck and tend to not really know how to get out of it. So I want to also draw attention to that side of it. The reason why, as I have there, that I want to do this is because method acting has always been a controversial topic within the acting industry, and some people will say that it's good, and then some people will say that it ruins actors' mental health. Whereas others will say, like, if you use it correctly, there is no actual negative effects. So, which is why, as a researcher, I want to basically dive into the technique more and look at the positives and the negatives and compare them. So, my objective for this dissertation is to obviously research the technique of method acting, so get as much information on it that I can, everything like that. And then my next one, I want to research case studies with actors with good experiences and bad experiences and not have a bias of which one I am leaning towards, and just start new and just compare them and just see which one by the end of it I will lean towards. And then I want to explore potential ways of using method acting without negative effects. So to see if it is just the way people are using it, the way actors are using it, the way actors are getting taught it, if that is the reasoning for them having negative effects. And then I want to research what support actors can get after doing certain roles, because there's a lot of actors that have really gotten upset or bad mental health over the roles that they've done while using method acting. I have a few sub questions, as you can see here. So my first one is, what is method acting? So basically just going on the history and everything like that, and going into deep detail on the technique itself and where it comes from and all of that stuff. And then my next one will be, what effect acting has on actors. So taking method acting out of it, I want to basically just focus on acting itself and see what I can find with what effects it has, just normal acting, not the added psychological technique of it. And then I want to add who have had experiences with method acting, so what kind of people experience it, what people train with, and basically all of that stuff. And then I want to look at, is method acting positive or negative for actors based on the research? So that will basically tie it all together, and it will be what I think in total, which one I will lean towards. Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it negative but it can be positive? Or is it a positive technique but can be negative if it's used in a certain way? As you can see here, I have my methodology. So for my research, it's going to be solely qualitative research because my topic is a very deep research topic, and it dives into research in people's mental health and psychological effects. So I will be only using secondary research to research what I will need for my dissertation. For example, I will be using books, articles, research papers, and YouTube videos. And as you can see here, I have my ethical considerations. As I am doing only secondary based research, I don't have a lot of ethical consideration. And I won't be interacting with any other peers or anyone to do interviews or questionnaires, anything like that. So I will be doing the research alone, so I don't really have any ethical consideration. For my next bit here, as you can see, I have a key literature part. So the first part I will be using for key literature is An Actor's Prepares. So that's by Stanislavski, and he wrote An Actor Prepares as a fictional journal, basically going through like detailing a year-long course in Stanislavski's acting methods. The next one I've got is a Tom Holland interview. This is just on YouTube where he goes into detail about how the crowded room, he plays a role, he plays a character, and he used method acting. And using method acting for that character almost made him quit acting altogether. And he did take a break from acting for a whole year. And the next one I've got here is basically Evan Peters on the real struggle of taking on Dharma. So Evan Peters played a character called Jeffrey Dahmer, who is a real life person and a serial killer, and he had to get into that role, and he used method acting for it. And he talks about how he struggled with taking on the role and how it really affected him. Lastly, at the bottom, I have my bibliography, which has all of the sources that I have used for research in this particular poster. Thank you for listening and watching.